What's up, guys? Welcome back to my show. Let me adjust my camera there. My name is Kia. Thank you for watching. Today we're going to talk about some Russell Wilson and a little bit of Colin Kaepernick. Weird. But before I start, I just want to say I just got back from Coachella, so I'm a little hungover. Freaking, it was amazing. You should definitely go check out Coachella. Childish Bambino. That guy was trippy. I thought, I don't know if I was losing my mind or what. I don't know if I got like drugs stuck in my body or what it was, but that guy was just amazing. If you didn't see his set, check it out. Probably the best set of the whole weekend, even though it was the first night. But definitely check it out. But everyone else was good, but Childish Bambino. Damn. Whew. Okay, all right, anyways, let's go back to football. Russell Wilson, 4 years, $140 million, $65 million signing, total guarantee $107 million. $107 million. What the fuck? He got, what was it? It was like 30 minutes before the deadline that he gave Seattle Seahawks. He's like, if you don't sign me $30 million, I don't want any more talks with you. And Seattle Seahawks were either, there were trade talks. People were offering. There were rumors. People said they were offering like a couple of first rounders, a player, and all of that. And at one point, I was like, man, Oakland Raiders should probably give that up, or someone with a lot of draft picks who really need a quarterback should really do that. But Seattle Seahawks were like, are we ever going to get a real quarterback, maybe as good as him? Probably not. So why take the risk? Let's just sign him. So altogether, maybe for Seattle Seahawks, for Russell Wilson, it was a huge win. Great agent, for him to just stand back and be like, listen, I got this. This is my timetable. Either give me a contract or I'm done. And they did it. They freaking did. He got the money he deserved. And so now, now I'm like, he's a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong. He has come in clutch. He initially came into the right system that, he played with one of the best defense to ever play in the NFL, probably the best defense to ever play in the NFL, and who really got him there in the first two Super Bowls. And then after a while, you saw that defense started crumbling. Seahawks were still contenders, but they just weren't as good. And then now you're just seeing the only best player that's on there is probably Russell Wilson himself, because he's the one that gets him in the games. But is he really worth $107 million guarantee? Well, listen, a lot of you guys, will say, well, yeah, of course. Have you seen him play? Over 30 touchdowns a season, over 4,000 yards. The touchdown to pick ratio is really high. Like it's really like amazing numbers. He's gonna be in the Hall of Fame. Don't get me wrong. He is gonna be a Hall of Fame. But are we really getting too ahead of ourselves? $107 million. Okay, I know I said he deserved it, and he does. He just, as a player, just because of he's worked really hard, with a player his size, to really have those kind of numbers, like over 30, like we talked about, 30 touchdowns a season, over 4,000 yards a season as well, and not talking about that's his rushing yards as well. He deserves to play. He deserves a lot of money, and he's been pretty loyal, and he's handled a lot of criticism throughout the years, especially when that defense was really, really good. But $107 million to a guy who hasn't taken you to the NFC Championship in how long? Who hasn't really carried you the whole way since having Marshawn Lynch or the Legion of Boom. Honestly, the team has declined, and their defense has been, has stepped up, but he doesn't have any. He hasn't done much to the point where his team's been successful, where they have hopes of winning a Super Bowl. Like, do you look at Seattle Seahawks right now, and because they just paid him $170 million, you're like, okay, we're gonna win the Super Bowl this year? No, you're not thinking that. I mean, maybe a big fan, a big huge fan like us Chiefs fans, we think we're gonna win it every year, but we end up not doing it. But no one thinks now that they're going to win it even more. They're going to be like, okay, well, they have this player, but they're still going to be, a playoff contending team, but not over the top. They need a better rushing, a whole new running group of running backs. They need to, step up that defense so they can score some points and help them score more points. They need receivers. They just lost Jimmy Graham. So they're a little bit worse than they were before. And I don't really trust Russell Wilson just taking over a game like Aaron Rodgers would, or Tom Brady would, or even the newly Patrick Mahomes. I don't think he's that kind of player. So $107 million. I don't think he deserved that much money. And I think Russell Wilson probably would have signed a lot less, but he waited the last 30 minutes, and the Seattle Seahawks got a little nervous. They're like, well, are we going to get a player like them? What are we going to do? We really trust these next 2 years of draft classes to be really good, and to get the players that we need to be a Super Bowl contender. They freaked out. Russell Wilson probably knew, and his agent probably knew that going in, that they're going to freak out. They really need you. So they're going to pay as much as he can. So the losers were Seattle Seahawks, and the winner was Russell Wilson. Now, how does all of this play into Colin Kaepernick? Well, why doesn't it play into Colin Kaepernick? I feel like we always need to talk about Colin Kaepernick, because Colin Kaepernick chose media around him. He wasn't on TV anymore, and so he saw what was going on TV, and he thought, it's time to, step up and do something else instead of concentrating on football. And that lost him $107 million. And yes, do I think he could have probably still been an effective player? Yes. He had the talent, raw talent. He needed a better, probably a much better coaching unit. Jim Harbaugh was good, but he needed someone to really work with him, and he could have been great too. And if you think about it, the Niners and Seahawks were both one of the top 5 best teams in the NFC. Early in the years when the Niners went to the Super Bowl, and then when Seahawks won it the year after, or 2 years after that. They were contenders, and it was going to be Colin Kaepernick versus Russell Wilson for the next decade. But Niners got corrupted. They got messed up. Jim Harbaugh just couldn't handle it anymore. This is why he went to Michigan, and they crumbled. And what did Colin Kaepernick do? He crumbled too, and he let his emotions get the best of him. Because at the end of the day, would you stand up for social justice, or would you want to make $107 million? What would you do? And you're saying you would stick up for social justice? Yeah, you're not telling the truth. You're just trying to you're just trying to argue with me. You're just trying to prove me wrong. Okay, and that's cool too. I don't give a shit. But all I'm gonna say is that Colin Kaepernick could have probably made even more guaranteed than Russell Wilson, because 1, he has the size and more arm strength, and 2, he's Colin Kaepernick. Have you seen his body? Have you seen his six-pack? Like, people love that guy. People wanted to, like, he posed naked in front of, what was Sports Illustrated or something like that. He posed naked in front of a magazine. I mean, come on. Colin Kaepernick made the biggest mistake by choosing what was probably needed for America to hear about, but now he's settled for less than $10 million just to shut the hell up and leave this whole thing alone. Because he knew deep down inside, like, damn, I'm not gonna make any more money after this, so I need to make as much money as I can. Wow, well, that sucked for him. And now Russell Wilson is the winner. He stayed quiet. He stayed to his religious beliefs, focused on his goals, and married Sierra. And she's really religious. They freaking made a kid, 1 or 2 kids together. They're happy. And now he's $107 million richer. Amazing. amazing, amazing, amazing. But I still don't agree that he's worth that much. I think Seahawks could have gone much less. But hey, now it's good for other QBs. I'm kind of worried about our Chiefs because now we'll have to pay him 2 or 3 times as more than Russell Wilson because he is just that much better. And yeah, that's basically it. I don't even have to prove. I don't even have to explain more about Patrick Mahomes to anyone else. But then again, you know, whatever. But Colin Kaepernick, sucks for you. I bet you're looking at him. You're like, oh, I feel so good. You know, I'm so happy for Russell Wilson. But really, you're not. You're just really sad. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoy your time. Please subscribe, comment as much as you can. Let me know what you disagree with, what you agree with, and we'll talk more. Take care.